My name is Nikki Mohan, and I will be your host today. This is the sixth tutorial in the Fluency series called Communication Fluency. During the course of this tutorial, you will 1. Be able to define communication fluency, 2. Be able to list the components of communication fluency, and 3. Be able to explain why there is a need to be communication fluent. But before we begin, I want to welcome you to the Committed Sardine channel. We will start by using a simple graphic organizer which many of you may be familiar with. We call this graphic organizer the PMI chart. For a quick recap of what PMI stands for and how we're going to use it in this session. PMI is the acronym for plus, minus, interesting. In the first column, you will write down the points that you consider are plus or positive points. In the second column, you will write down points that you consider are minus or negative. And in the third column, write down any points that you think are interesting. Please pause the video and take a minute to draw your chart. Now, you will use this chart throughout this video, and when you hear a point that resonates, then write that point down and make sure to record it in the respective columns. In the first tutorial, we defined communication fluency as, which is text and multimedia, as the ability to communicate with text and speech in multiple multimedia formats, as well as to communicate visually through video and imagery in the absence of text. Now, whether it's holding a conversation with individuals or groups, negotiating a deal, selling an idea or product, or marketing yourself, having effective communication skills is essential. Our task is to help our students develop the necessary skills needed, not only for face-to-face engagement, but also to communicate effectively in the online world. Effective communication requires learners to develop literacy skills beyond reading and writing, to include digital literacy. Today, effective communication is one of the high-demand skills that students must learn if they want to compete successfully in an ever-changing global economy. The mental process that we have developed is called the 9 P's process of communication fluency, which allows learners to leverage the most appropriate media for communicating. Now, let us dig deeper into each step. The first step is pose. Learners come to an agreement and develop a shared understanding of the message to be conveyed, the platform to be used, the medium best suited for the message, and the format of the presentation. The second is pinpoint. Students identify the audience or audiences that will be the recipients of their message and/or information. Then we have prepare, which is the research phase of the process during which learners gather information about their intended audiences. Next is picture. This is the visioning process where learners brainstorm, imagine, visualize possible modes and media to convey their message to the various audiences identified in the Pinpoint step. The fifth step is plan. Students develop a simple roadmap designed to help everyone understand what is required, when and how learners are going to achieve set goals, and identify time frames. Sixth is produce. Students put their plan into action by creating their presentation and delivering it to a predetermined audience. Then we have probe, which is the assessment and evaluation step with a focus on the content of the presentation, the delivery of that presentation, and the entire learning process. The eighth step is ponder, specifically allocated time for reflection. Reflection is a conscious process where students use their own experiences to learn something. The final step is pledge. This step involves learners taking targeted action. The pledge step provides learners with an opportunity to make a difference by positively contributing to society and developing good citizenship qualities. The world has moved beyond communication using primarily text. Visual communication through graphic design and multimedia has become the new basic. However, today the world has moved even further because kids are growing up on YouTube, Snapchat, and TikTok era. We have advanced beyond still images to a new video standard. The 9-piece process can be utilized to enable student voice and help learners develop excellent communication skills to use online or offline, oral or written, formal or informal, verbal or non-verbal, and traditional or digital. The 9 Ps empower students to use their authentic voice to design personalized solutions and products. And finally, the aim of communication fluency is to move learners beyond the reality of simply consuming information. The ultimate goal of communication fluency is to help students develop into prosumers, both consumers and producers of knowledge, to solve real-world problems and to take real-world actions as part of being a good global citizen. Now, please revisit the graphic organizer you created at the beginning of this tutorial. You can either pause the video to complete the chart, or you can do this at the end of the tutorial. So, looking at your graphic organizer, check if there are any points you would like to swap to another column, and if there are any further points you would like to add to the chart. Are there points that can go in more than one column? Thank you for joining me for the 6th tutorial in this series. In the next session, we take a close look at creativity fluency. If you enjoyed this session, please give us a thumbs up. And if you can, leave a comment below and also tell us from where you are and a little bit about yourself. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you are notified when we upload new videos. I also want to remind you that if you want to dive deeper into any one of the fluencies, we will be holding workshops during which we walk you through all the steps so that you will be able to apply your learning immediately with your students. To know when these workshops are taking place, watch the space, and if you haven't already, subscribe. But more importantly, hit the bell icon to be notified of what's happening on the Committed Sardines channel. Thanks for watching. See you soon.